an impressive collection of short stories. I have an impressive collection of collections of short stories, and I wanted to show you. So allow me to show off a bit, if you may. If you may allow me. So the first one is Girls at War and Other Stories by Chinua Achebe. And Girls at War is a title of a short story in this book. So I do think it is quite impressive that that short story got to be the title. And in my opinion, that short story is the Beyonce of short stories in here. You can't convince me otherwise. But this was part of the Penguin African Writers series. And to introduce that, Chinua Achebe had a message. And he said that Africa is a huge continent with a diversity of cultures and languages. Africa is not simple. Often people want to simplify it, generalize it, stereotype its people, but Africa is very complex. The world is just starting to get to know Africa. The last 500 years of European contact with Africa produced a body of literature that presented Africa in a very bad light, and now the time has come for Africans to tell their own stories. I think that was a very amazing way to introduce the Penguin African Writers series. And this book was first published in 1972. So post colonial literature always holds a very special place in my heart, and I think that will remain relevant for the rest of my life, because it was a time where Africans were gaining a voice. They were gaining a voice, they were telling their own stories, how they wanted to be perceived, how they wanted to be, told. So they were taking charge of their own storytelling, and I'm very proud of that moment in history, and I will always open my mouth to tell that part of the history. So this book is, it's amazing. Honestly, I read all of the stories, and I remember there's this one story called The Voter, which I if there's a story that you need to read here, read that one. It's called The Voter, and I really liked it. I think I read it like 5 times. I have this tendency of going back to one thing. I will choose one thing as my comfort story, my comfort thing, and I will forever go back to that. So The Voter, if you may, it's amazing. So I really like this. It's very short. You see, it's very small. It's the stories are very short, relatively short, and I really liked it because Chinua Achebe is one of my favorite authors, and to see that he had written short stories, I'm a fan. The second one is this one. So it's the cover is, I bought it solely because of the cover, and I was like, oh my god, I like the cover. So the cover is like a bit grayish. I don't know if you can see, but it like, yeah, and then there's black and white. You see? So I really liked it. I did judge a book by its cover, but this time it was rewarding. It was rewarding. So this one is a collection from the new short fiction from Africa. It is by Short Story Day Africa. Oh my god, SSDA. Yes. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for struggling with that. And I really liked it. I really liked it. My favorite story in here is God's Skin by Michael Ye. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it is amazing. It's one of those stories where you have to be like, wait. Then you flip back and be like, oh my god. Yes, I was doing that while I was reading this book. It's amazing. I really loved this book. Really loved this book. And by me saying my favorite stories in this books, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm discrediting all those other stories. They are great stories, but I have my personal favorites, right? And I'm recommending my personal favorites, but I'm also recommending the whole book. So don't take it like that, okay? This one. Oh my god. Okay, so this one I don't have a particular favorite. Unfortunately, they're all my favorites, and the reason they're all my favorites is because how she writes the main characters. So, Love in Color by Bolu Babalola has 10 short stories. It's a romance. You see, they almost kissing. They. It's a romance short stories, and the way she writes the main characters. The main characters are women of color, And essentially, the way she writes them, they are strong women, and I'm not talking about strong black women stereotype. No, they are. How can I say this? The most people stress the point of when you fall in love, your partner must be the cherry on top and not your whole thing. So if I can put it this way, the main characters, the women of color, are already established in their ways. They're already established in their lives. They're already happy, and then their love interest to just add on that. Yes, that's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. So very, very, very amazing. It's amazing. I love the way she writes women. I really like the way she writes women, and all the male characters, the love interest, they are surely written by a woman. If you know, you know. Okay. And this one is my latest one. I haven't gotten through it yet, but I've read a couple of stories in here, and it's best to say it is a good one. So it's a little bit thick. So the stories are a little bit, they're a little bit thicker. But I really do like it. It's still short stories, so I really did like it. It is the daily assortment of astonishing things and other stories by the Caine Prize for African Writing. It's a 2016 collection, and it has, all these authors from, we have an author from Somalia, we have an author from Nigeria, we have an author from Nigeria again, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. So it's 12 writers from 6 African countries who took part in the Caine Prize Winters Writers Workshop held this year in Zambia, where they each produced a special story for this volume. That is amazing. I wish I could do that. I wish I was like a fictional writer and I could spend um months on this nice place, like on an island, writing a story that would be part of a collection. I saved the last I saved the best for last. Yes, I almost struggled there. I saved the best for last. No, I didn't. I'm lying. I'm lying because I have 2 books. Yeah, I forgot about this one totally. So this one is a thick one. It's a thick one, but it is anthology. And it is an international anthology of writing by women of African descent, edited by Margaret Busby. It's the New Daughters of Africa. I do think now, and like these different editions of this, I don't wanna lie, but I've also seen like different I got this book at my campus bookstore, and I was holding it, and someone was like, "What is that? Is that a dictionary?" I was like, "No, it's short stories." So my favorite thing about this book is that it is diverse. And when I say diverse, I mean it has so many writings from so many years ago. Because the first writing is, oh my god, it is from the, I think, 1800s. I think 18. Oh, okay. So we have like pre 1900s. I don't know if you can see. Yes, pre 1900s, and then to the 2000s, to the 2022. That. So I really did like that it goes far back. I really did like that. I don't have books that are pre 1900s, so I really like the fact that I got to read this. I haven't finished it. It's one of those books that you go back to. Oh, let me read this. Let me, again, little bits and bites of literature. If you need little bites of literature, you can just pick a story for the day, pick a poem for the day, pick an essay for the day. I really like that it's not just limited to fiction. It has all. Oh, I'm struggling to hold this. I'm so struggling. But yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing. I love it. And then the best for last, I have to say, I don't have any favorites when it comes to my books. I love them all equally. I'm lying. With this collection, this specific collection of my collections of short stories, I really liked this one. I really liked this one. There's so many stories that I liked that I can't even recommend you a favorite. I can't. But oh my god, I bought this last year and I read this and finished it last year, but because it is a bite of literature, as I said, I kept coming back. I kept coming back to take a bite, and I did this thing where I was like, marking. I realized that I didn't mark Ghost, but I really, really liked Imitation. I liked Private Experience. I liked my favorite one. Yes, I thought I didn't have a favorite, but now that I think of it, my favorite one was The Headstrong Historian. I think it's the last one of the book. I think it's the last story of the book. It was amazing. It was amazing. And there was this other one called The Last Monday. I don't know if it's the first Monday, the last Monday. Whew. It's amazing. I really like the way that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie writes. I really like it, and I'm happy to see that it's the same in her short stories as in her long novels. Because I the thing about her novels is that I have repeatedly said to my friends and all the other people I talk about books with, that she makes me feel like her writing makes me feel. And it's the same way with her short stories. I thought it would be different. I thought that, when people are writing novels and short stories, it would be different, but then it's not. And I'm happy that that didn't change, because that is one of my favorite things about her writings, honestly. This book, go get this book. It is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, The Thing Around Your Neck. When was it published? I think it was 2009. 2009. So I really like this one a lot. The next one, the last one, is not a book, but rather it's a journal. It's a publication. It's the Imbiza Journal for African Writing. This is the 2021 issue. Um, I don't know if you can see it. The lady on the cover is actually my favorite person. She is Pumla Dineo Kola. I hope I said that right. I think she works at the University of Nelson Mandela. I can't remember. I hope I'm right when it comes to that. But then the publication has essays, it has short stories, it has all those good things that you'd find in a literary magazine. But my favorite part of this one specifically, I do think you can find it online. I don't know if it is a UNISA publication or a UP publication, but I think you can find it online. My favorite part was the you know the poems part. There's a poem in Venda, there's a poem in Shivenda, and I am Venda. So when I see anything about my culture, I get so happy. I get to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna practice my Venda. I'm gonna practice reading, because people be like, oh my god, you don't know how to speak your language. I do. Um, and I really, really like this one. I really do. So it is, we can say it is a collection of short stories, because it has essays. It's more like the smaller version of this one, but this one is a literary magazine, which I really love literary magazines, because they tell me new books that are going to come out. They tell me their favorite books. They tell me thoughts about books. They tell me thoughts about literature. They tell me all those things that I really, really like to hear. So yeah.